Welcome to the Wellness Studio podcast. This is not a quick conversation today, and this isn't a highlight reel. This is a real story told slowly, honestly, and without skipping the hard parts. In this special 3-part series of the Wellness Case Files, we follow one person's transformation in real time, from the problem they carried for years to the moment everything began to shift, to the wisdom that emerged on the other side. Today is part 1, the problem. In this episode, you will meet a woman who grew up inside deep restriction, silence, and survival. You will hear how identity can be shaped by fear, how freedom can feel dangerous before it feels safe, and how breaking generational cycles often comes at a cost. This is the beginning of her story, the part before the breakthrough, the moment where the truth starts knocking. Some of what you hear may feel familiar. Some of it may challenge what you believe about healing. And some of it may stay with you long after the episode ends. So listen closely, because this is not just her story, it is the doorway to transformation. Hello, and welcome to the Wellness Studio podcast. This is episode 1 of our special Wellness Case Files series. This season, we're following the powerful story of Octavia over 3 episodes. Today, we begin with the problem. You'll meet Octavia, hear the truth of where her journey began, and understand the challenge she's been carrying into her healing work. So, welcome, Octavia. We're so glad you're here. Can you tell
Thank
us about your
you.
name? Because I saw your last name and I was like, uh-oh, I didn't ask. Um, where
So
you're.
yeah, my birth name is not Octavia. It's not Sirius, of course. This is my soul's name. So what we're gonna lead to how I discovered that my soul's name is Octavia and the whole story. So, or do you want me to say it now?
We can get to it later if you want, if it's like
Yeah,
built
of
into your
course.
story. And
Perfect.
where are you from? And a little bit about the woman you are today.
Okay, so I am from Algeria. It's in North Africa. And I am a Syrian starseed. I'm also a spiritual guide and a professional astrologer for over 12 years now. So I help people get to know their soul on a deeper level and understand their purpose in this lifetime. And I merge like a blend of astrology, psychology, and spirituality into my business. Yeah.
That's beautiful. So, like you said, you're an astrologer and a spiritual guide. What lights you up when the most about the work that you do?
Oh, I love this question. So I'm a very practical person. And so I wanted my business to be about this. And so my readings are very practical. I didn't want to like write a PDF that someone is going to read once and then it's about a placement that they don't even understand.
Hmm.
I wanted my readings to be practical. So they include like advice, tips, meditations, journal prompts, affirmations, ceremonies. Like if I see that they need to cut cords with something, so they're very practical and they lead the person to change. So they offer practical solutions and tools to better their lives. This is what lights me up the most. It's when someone message me and they're like, "You really helped me get unstuck about this very like this particular problem." I love this.
That is amazing. Yeah, the work that's practical is that real change, not just in theory, oh, I thought about it, but like when they
Exactly.
can really meditate or journal and get down into the nitty-gritty, like that's so beautiful. Before we dive into your story, what do you want listeners to understand about who you are outside of this challenge we're going to talk about today?
Okay. So I want them to know that this challenge was part of my life for over 26 years. So it's a long time. It took a long time to understand and um, get to where I am now. But luckily, I am not um, having this challenge anymore in my life. And so I want them to know like how I did it, like how I went from the challenge to this healthier version of myself and the tools that helped me get to where I am right now.
Exactly. I love to talk about the challenge really deeply because I think we always gloss over it really quickly, especially like with personal development or self-help books or even self-help coaches. It's like, oh yeah, I had this problem, but here's how I fixed it. And we don't get into like all of the really hard parts of the problem. And that's what
Mhm.
we're doing today. So yeah, I like that you said that. That's who you were before. So we're going to talk about this challenge and but you've grown through it and it's
Yes.
and it's beautiful. So, what brought you here today, and why did you feel called to share this story with us in this format on my podcast?
Oh. So I think the opportunity presented itself, and I felt like something in me, like in my heart, that this felt aligned. And I wanted to thank you, Jackie, for this opportunity and, being here. It means a lot, you know. So I felt it was aligned. And the second reason is I felt it might help some people. I know there is a lot of people that have my challenge, and
Hmm.
maybe someone can benefit from my advice or maybe just hearing about it. It doesn't have to
Exactly.
help them or any way. It just maybe will help them heal or awaken something inside them that will lead them to um, like deeper healing. Yeah.
I agree. That's why I talk about all the things I talk about is even if it doesn't set off like right then and there action, like maybe it'll plant a seed and maybe that seed will grow in 2 days, 2 weeks, or 2 years. Who knows? When you think about your healing journey right now, what feels the heaviest or the most tender?
Wow. I feel emotional about this question because the thing that is the heaviest after, um, you know, my challenge is I've been in an abusive, religious home for
Hmm.
26 years, which is a long time, you know, from my childhood to my early adulthood. I lived in this household and I decided to leave this environment a year ago, actually. It was,
Wow.
oh my God, it was literally the 24th December. We are approaching the
Yep.
anniversary of my freedom.
Wow.
So it's very beautiful that we are wrapping up all of this in this month. And again,
Hmm.
it felt aligned again that it was this month. So the heaviest part is after leaving this environment after such a long time, you finally feel safe to feel all the emotions you pushed aside or you were not feeling safe to feel back then because you were too busy surviving that
Hmm.
environment. You never had time or to process what was going on. You were just trying to survive. So when you finally are in a calmer space, there is all these heavy emotions that shows up, and it's so difficult to feel them. Sometimes maybe someone will relate, but sometimes I really felt like I that part of me just wanted to die because it was so intense and painful. Um, the stuck energy that I had was mostly in my heart chakra, my throat as well,
Hmm.
and my solar plexus as well, and the back of my arms and my upper back. This is where I felt it the most. And it felt like
Hmm.
a burning sensation, that pain. So, yeah, that was the heaviest. moments
Yeah.
throughout this whole year of healing that I had. Yeah.
Yeah, I have two things to say to that. That's so amazing. Um,
Mhm.
when we're recording this, it's December. We're going to release this in January, but that is so synchronous. And it's like the universe saying, like, let's chat about it now and let's have a structured conversation. Like, if you think about all the ways it could have gone, like, you could have been sitting with somebody who maybe wasn't uh ready for that conversation or maybe pulled you back down. Not saying that I am the highest and best, but like it's different when you're having that conversation with somebody who has a spiritual perspective versus maybe
Mhm.
somebody in our past that we would just gossip with or rehash the past with and look at all of those, oh, poor me. Just having a like you could have had a totally different conversation,
Mhm. Yeah,
but
I'm really
we're
grateful
we're here
that it
having,
was, yeah, such a mature and spiritual perspective
yeah,
about the whole like situation. Again, I
yeah,
felt it that it was very aligned.
that's good. Yeah, so but you're here and you're gonna be able to talk to the listeners, and that's just so beautiful. The second thing I have to say to that is when you're talking about where it was in your body, is like started things just coming to me as just like you were literally holding so much. It was heavy on your heart. You couldn't speak your truth, I'm assuming, like when you're in that situation,
Yes,
anyone in an abusive
yes.
situation, how are you
There
gonna
was
speak
no
your truth?
truth. There was, I would say my throat chakra was the most blocked of all my chakras. So
Yeah,
yeah, like you couldn't like speak up for yourself or have boundaries, which it is like the throat chakra like main goal is to help you stand up for yourself and have boundaries. And so I really struggle with that.
yeah. Yeah, the throat chakra was something that I worked on for years. I started my throat chakra like healing journey back in 2019, I think. I went to a psychic and she told me it was blocked. And it wasn't until I did my Reiki master practitioner that classes that she started clearing that for me. And so getting Reiki attuned finally like really cleared my throat chakra. And when we were in that meditation, when I finally felt it like open up, I just saw all these birds fly away. And that's all
Wow.
like I could imagine. And it was like, oh, I can finally like speak my truth.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Did you have like an emotional release? Because I remember when I was healing my
Coughing.
throat,
I was
coughing.
coughing. I had like
Oh,
a physical.
wow.
So yeah,
So
we're
it's
having
been,
this
yeah,
beautiful Reiki like attunement. It's all peaceful and quiet, and I'm like hacking up a lung. And she's like, "This is normal. It's fine."
okay. I think it's different for everyone. Like for me,
Hmm.
it was like big emotional release, like crying, like
Oh,
heavy
I imagine.
crying. Yeah, and very painful in my throat,
I
like
remember
in
that
my,
as a child, having that feeling when you're
Mhm.
like hyperventilating and it's right there.
Yeah, it's so
Hmm.
interesting.
It was
Hmm.
probably partially healing your inner child too, since that's that feeling
Oh
you
yeah,
got.
that was like the most like the healing I did the most was on my inner child because she felt it the most,
Hmm.
of course. Yeah. So
Beautiful.
yeah, like her, it was not easy in the beginning. She was very closed off and
Hmm.
obviously very depressed. But now it's more like a very happy kid that runs everywhere.
Good.
So I'm really happy to see like the healing unfold in her. It's like my child in a way. It's like I have a child now that
Yep.
I need to take care of. So
Exactly. That's a good way to
even
explain
yeah,
it.
even if I don't have kids, I have a child because you have to like reparent yourself, and so you
Yep.
are parents either way, even if you don't have kids.
And my native belief too is that we're matriarchy. Like we have all of us have a maternal. It doesn't matter if you're a mom because you could be a
Mhm.
sister, an aunt, a maternal figure within your community who
Yeah.
has parenting. So I've felt like I've been a parent my whole life because I've worked with children my whole life. I've always felt like a
Wow.
mom.
Yeah.
And when I
Mhm.
became
So
a mom, I didn't feel a big shift because I've always been a mom.
wow. For me,
Yeah.
it was a very big shift, like to reparent my inner child because I didn't have sisters.
Mm-hmm.
I was raised with two brothers,
Mm,
and the first one is older than me of 10 years, and the second one is 1 year. So we grew up
mm,
together. I never had like like a sibling I took care of or had to like be the mom to.
mm-hmm.
So I didn't grow up like with a lot of children around me.
Mm-hmm.
So I've never like experienced being a mother until I
Yeah,
had my inner child like healing.
nice. Okay. So,
Mm.
growing up in an abusive household for 26 years shapes every part of a person. How has that environment continued to echo in your adult life?
Mm. I would say in my ability to make my own decisions. That was the biggest struggle
Mm,
because growing up in especially a religious household, you always feel restricted. You always feel like someone is making decisions for you. So I
mm-hmm.
never had to decide for myself. And also, if I wanted to make a decision about a dream or an important like decision, there was always this thought in my head: what would my parents think? What would my brothers think? What would my family think? Instead of, do I want this? Should
Mm-hmm.
I go with this? So it was very hard, especially even after I left, there was always this trigger and this thought of fear. Like I was not able to make my own decisions. So a lot of fear, a lot of guilt, a lot of shame. Also about
Yeah.
choosing this path, also about leaving my family, a lot of guilt and shame. And also, I would say attracting people that trigger me and remind
Mm,
me of my family. That was
yeah.
the biggest like struggle, especially when I left. Always attracting women that remind me of my mother, or like men that remind me of my father.
Yep.
And I'm really happy that I did uh, some work on myself way before I left my home, because when this happened, I was able to recognize the trigger and the cycle, not feel like angry about it, and understand that it's something in me that I need to look at. And yeah, it took some work, but now like I attract people that no longer trigger me that much, which is good. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And every time you do, because it's around your anniversary time, like you could possibly attract another. I think it's just another layer. Like, okay, now we're ready
Mhm.
for the next layer of this that we weren't ready for a year ago.
Oh
And
yeah,
it's,
like the healing never ends. I
yeah.
like there's always a layer. Like you're not done,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes it's annoying to be honest
Oh,
when you're
yeah.
like,
Because you're like,
oh, I thought I dealt with this. No,
yes.
but yeah, you have to understand that. Um, yeah, you have to do it for yourself, and you have to show up even if you don't want to.
And then when you were saying that you were worried about what will your dad think? What will your mom think? Was there ever a part of you too? I don't know what the religion was, but I'll just say God for the lack of
Mhm.
did you worry about what would God think? What would the church think? Was
Mm.
that part of
So
your
the
worry too?
yeah. I didn't mention it, but the religion was Islam. So
Okay.
I grew up in a Muslim country and a
Mm-hmm.
Muslim family, but I never was Muslim. Like from, I would say, my first awakening, which was around 16, I
Mm-hmm.
completely stopped being Muslim, which was a very
Mm,
young age, to be honest. But I never worried about that,
mm-hmm.
like because I knew within me that this is not my truth.
Yeah.
And so I've never had this kind of fears, you know. But there was like there was a part of me, which was, I would say, the ego that was created, from all the beliefs that I grew up with, that was afraid of religious perspective and God's opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But, I was able to dissociate myself from that, but
Mm-hmm.
I could see it like playing before my eyes, like how I would be sitting here and how my ego would be freaking out about some religion, some religious point of view. But I think I'm really grateful that I had my awakening very early on.
Yeah.
Uh, it helped me a lot, and yeah, like to uh, choose a better path for myself than like a path filled of fear and judgment and restriction. Yeah.
Yeah. So you mentioned creating a persona out of survival. How has that survival identity shown up in your relationships or work or your sense of self?
Mm. That's a very interesting question. And um, so this is how it played out. So I was someone else. Like I was given a birth name, I was given an identity, I was given some limiting beliefs. And then I had my awakening at 16, and then a
Mm-hmm.
second one around 21.
Mm-hmm.
The 21 was more powerful, you know. This is when I discovered that I am a Syrian starseed, that my name is Octavia, and that I come from Sirius, and literally awakening to my truth, who I am. I didn't know that
Mm-hmm.
before. And so I think it was very big for my ego because our egos, I would say our ego mind, primary job is to keep us safe.
Yeah.
So when the ego was no longer in control and my soul took like the seat, the ego started freaking out. So it
Mm-hmm.
started attacking in a way. Like, for example, I would have dreams when I was attacked. This was during my dark night of the soul.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have dreams, I would be attacked, or with snakes, or like very symbolic dreams when I was attacked. And I knew
Yeah.
this was my mind trying to take back the control. So my persona shows up when I'm about to expand. So for
Yep.
example, when I take a big decision, for
Mm-hmm.
example, doing this podcast or leaving my parents' house, I can feel the fear, like I said, in certain areas, uh, especially in my back and the back of my arms, like this
Mm-hmm.
fear and terror, because the ego really believes he's dying. you
Yep.
know, the ego's biggest fear is dying. And so because
Yeah.
I am a new version of myself, the ego thinks he's dying. So really, this fear and and I think you heal that by just doing it and not let this fear stop you or the ego stop you from expanding. Even if you're fearful, even if you're having thoughts or you're doubting yourself, if you know that the next step is leading to your best version and you're going to be expanding and going through like your highest timeline, just do it. Don't even doubt
Yeah.
yourself. Yeah.
That's great advice
Mhm.
because it is so hard to break through that and to do it when everything in our ego is telling us to stop.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
If you
Mhm.
don't mind sharing a little bit about your second awakening, how you figured
Yes.
out your star seed, were you meditating? Like, how did it come about?
Oh, yeah. So I had my first awakening and then I started meditating so much. I don't know where it
Mm,
came from, but my
mm-hmm,
first awakening, I was not meditating that much. It was just I started being spiritual. I got introduced to yoga and
mm,
astrology. It was very fun, but my second one, it was very intense. And
yeah.
shortly after that, I had my dark night of the soul. So I was meditating a lot. And one day I was meditating and I hear someone calling me in my mind, Octavia, 3 times. This never happened. I've never heard of this name before.
Mm.
So yeah, I was like, wow, what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
So I finished my meditation. And again, because I'm a practical person, I had to Google it.
Yep.
So I go to Google, trying to understand what the name means because I knew it was a sign, obviously.
Yeah.
So I Google it and I got to read that Octavia means comes from the Greek number octo, which means
Mm-hmm.
number eight.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking, number eight, what could it mean? And then I remembered I had my second awakening, the 8-8, which is the 8th of August
Mm-hmm.
again. So I was like, okay, the 8th of August. Let's Google it. I Google it, and this is the first time I've ever hear about like the 8-8 Lionsgate portal.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you know about it, but
Mm-hmm.
it's like
Yeah.
when the star Sirius aligns with Earth and we receive like massive downloads, and
Mm-hmm.
especially Syrian starseeds get these massive awakenings. And I
Beautiful.
read about, yeah, Syrian starseeds. Wow, what's this word? I was like so intrigued. I was so like, this is the first time I've ever read this. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, okay, starseeds are souls that were born on other planets or stars or star systems before they incarnate on Earth. And
Mm-hmm.
I felt this, you know, like, wow, like my whole life, I felt I didn't belong here, that I
Mm-hmm.
come from. I always been like such a dreamer. I love like Disney movies. I love Barbie movies. Like when
Mm-hmm.
there is like sirens, when there is like mermaids,
Yeah.
and we can talk to animals. It always felt like so normal for me than our 3D world. So it all made sense. And
Yeah.
also because Sirius, part like half of Sirius is a water planet and they have mermaids. And I
Yeah.
remember that I started swimming at 2 years old. I literally
Mm.
started swimming before walking. So
Mm-hmm.
it came natural for me, this attraction to water.
Yeah.
So yeah, it made sense. And I was like, oh my God, I'm a Syrian starseed named Octavia, and I've been asleep for all these lifetimes until this one, when I
Mm-hmm.
finally reclaimed my truth.
That's
So
amazing.
yeah, it was crazy.
Hey, can I pause you right here for just a second? If this episode is resonating with you, if something in your chest feels stirred, it's probably because we're touching on things that live beneath the surface. The thoughts you don't always say out loud, the patterns you've learned to carry, the quiet ways self doubt and self hate show up in everyday life. This is the kind of work I go much deeper into inside of my live container called Return to Love. Return to Love isn't about fixing yourself, it's about remembering who you are. We work with shadow healing, affirmative prayer, guided meditation, and soul level reflection to gently unlearn self hate and relearn unconditional self love, the kind that stays with you long after the course ends. If you've been nodding along in this episode and thinking, she's talking about me, then this might be your invitation. Doors are open right now if you're listening in real time, and the doors close January 19th, 2026. You can find all the details on ravenrabbit.com or through the link in the show notes. All right, let's go back to the episode. So I'm going to go to the next question here of what patterns or cycles have you noticed that tie back to your childhood or the beliefs you were raised with?
Hmm. I would say the biggest childhood cycle or belief was how Islam shapes a woman perspective about men. I don't know
Mm,
if you know a little bit about Islam. So
not
men
much.
have, yeah, so men have a bigger place in Islam.
Yeah,
They decide more. They are, yeah, very much in charge of everything. And a woman is very much pushed down, or she doesn't have a say. And
yeah.
so there was this limiting beliefs about men. I always felt scared of men. I always felt not safe with them. And
Mm-hmm.
so it was really reprogramming myself and my beliefs, uh, and feel finally safe within me with a masculine figure, which I got to work with, which is I call him my masculine, my divine masculine, or my masculine God, or God
Mm-hmm.
in general. But it's a masculine figure that I'm working with within me,
Yeah.
that God introduced to me in my second awakening, and I did not feel safe um, within me with this masculine figure as a woman, as a feminine, my feminine part.
Yeah.
So I've never had a man that made me feel safe. I've never had a man that loved me, truly, and not tried to use me or belittle me or, um, yeah. So I've never had that. So it was so foreign to me when this
Mm-hmm.
masculine figure, this unconditional love feeling, tried to help me and heal me and love me. So
Mm-hmm.
I was trying. It was literally physically painful. Literally. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I feel so emotional talking about it.
Yeah.
Like that wound to be loved, because I felt so unworthy of love.
Yeah.
And it was very healing, physically healing, to receive that love from a masculine figure. And I'm not gonna lie, like the first times I was very much pushing him away, saying
Mm-hmm.
like painful things, like trying to push him away because I did not feel safe, or I did not feel worthy. And it was like I was in a relationship with this masculine figure, almost like a real relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would say these painful things, and because he's a divine being, he does not get hurt. And
Mm-hmm.
so I would say anything, he would just still be there, smiling, and he would always say, "Are you done?" So and so I laughed, and I was like, and he would like very gently point at what I was doing. He would say, "Do you see what you're doing?" And I had to mature. Honestly,
Yeah.
I knew that I was very much a very immature feminine when I was trying to, do these things. So it was very like healing to have a mature masculine help me with my healing. And he was so patient, so loving, and I owe everything, all my healing to him and his love. So yeah, that was the
So,
biggest challenge for me, the
so
masculine wound.
that's amazing. So would you consider him on your spirit team? You can call on him whenever you
Yes.
need.
So I didn't know exactly who he was in the beginning, and then he said he told me who he was. So because I'm a star seed, he's a star seed as well. He said he
Mm-hmm.
was an Acturian star seed.
Mm.
His name is Alexander. So he's part of my
Mm.
spiritual team.
Mm-hmm.
And so very funny story. So how I ended up on Earth was very crazy. So I, I don't know if you know about the Syrian wound, which is like
Mm-mm.
we were attacked. So on our planet, we were attacked by
Yeah.
the Orions, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, so most Syrian starseeds were put on into human bodies without their will. Like we never
Mm-hmm.
consented to incarnate on Earth. And so you can see a lot of Syrian starseeds like you see a lot of complaining in the internet. You see them, I've never unwanted to be here. I don't like being on Earth. Most of
Mm-hmm.
them don't know how to reach financial stability or have
Mm-hmm.
boundaries. They were not prepared to be here at all. And so
Yeah.
this is what happened to me. Like I ended up being on Earth, and because I was missing, so Alexander, which is my childhood friend on Sirius, we were
Okay.
friends. He was the one who found me. He was the one
Okay.
who awakened me. Like they
Mm-hmm.
spent my soul family spent all this time trying to find me because I could have been anybody on on a a
Yep,
human body. So yeah, he found me, he awakened me, and I could always call on him. He's my best friend in a way.
that's beautiful.
Hmm.
You made me think, I always think about I'm very much into human rights and I think about how human rights and checking your privilege, how it can merge with spirituality. And I never noticed my
Mm.
privilege of like my spirit team is I got male and female energies and I never thought
Mm.
anything of it, but it's kind of a privilege to feel that I could call on either. Or when they show up, I don't question like how you had
Mm.
to question what was going on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I always like to check my privilege. And that's really cool.
Yeah, that's the thing with this discussions. Like you get to see uh, another person's perspective and how another person's journey and how it makes you really like see yourself and your journey and how you
Hmm.
could yeah, there's a lot of things you could learn as well and
Yeah,
understand about yourself.
that's beautiful.
Before we continue, I want to check in with you. If you're listening to this episode and finding yourself feeling seen, emotional, or unexpectedly reflective, that's not an accident. These conversations tend to open doors inside of us, doors we may have kept closed for a long time. This is the work I hold space for inside of my live container, Return to Love. Return to Love is a guided journey back to yourself. We explore where self hate was learned, how it quietly shows up in our thoughts and choices, and how to gently replace it with unconditional self love. Not the surface level kind, the soul level kind. If you've been doing the work on your own and feel ready for deeper support, community, and spiritual guidance, this space was created for you. Doors are open now and close January 19th, 2026, if you're listening in real time. You can learn more about it at ravenrabbit.com or find the link in the show notes. Take a breath and let's continue.
To be a teacher,
Mm,
a French. I love books. I love
hmm.
literature. I wanted to be a teacher and a writer. So yeah, I was studying. I loved university. I love studying a lot. I'm a Gemini, by the way. I really love that. So
Yeah.
I love knowledge. Yeah. So I always thought this was my life. Like I'm gonna be a teacher. And then I had my first awakening, and I was like, I don't want that. I don't want to teach.
Mm,
I don't, this is not my purpose. This is not what I want to do. And so out of nowhere, I started becoming very spiritual. I isolated myself a lot. And then I was becoming very sensitive to my family's toxic energy.
hmm.
I started reading a lot and seeing like videos, podcasts, and this is when I knew like I was not able to um, have a normal discussion with my family anymore because I felt like we were so far apart anymore. I don't know what was
Hmm.
going on, but what was okay back then because I lived my whole life with them was not okay anymore.
Hmm.
When someone would say something, when I normally would be whatever, like this, how it always been, I always been like, bullied or abused. Now it's like, wait a minute, this is wrong. This is not
Hmm.
okay, you know? So yeah, I would, yeah, like the ego is no longer there because the ego is like, yeah, whatever, let me survive, let me find a coping mechanism or something.
Hmm.
So yeah, because I was awakening, I was like, no, this is wrong and it's always been wrong. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's so hard to see when you're in the thick of it.
Yes, it's like your mind does not grasp it in the beginning, when you're in it, and then
Yeah.
when you're awakening, I think you just see it for what it is. You're no longer someone that is experiencing that. You're just someone that is seeing it all, like what's happening, and
Yeah.
you're not. yeah, you're just the witness, you know, you're just
Yeah.
witnessing all of it. And now, because you're awakening, you get to think about it. Like, I think you become more intelligent. I don't know. Did you like
Oh yeah.
you're more intelligent now that you had your awakening?
Oh yeah. Yeah, and you look back,
In
but you can't be mad at your younger self either. You're like, she's doing the best she could with what she knew.
yeah. Oh yeah. Totally.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do you think is at the root of the challenge you're facing today, now that you're
Oh.
outside of that home?
Hmm. I would say I would say the I would say the limiting beliefs and
Mm-hmm.
also the trauma because like living in such an environment leaves scars on you that you
Yeah.
can't really let go of because you left that environment. They're always here. They're imprinted on you. So I would say, yeah, the limiting beliefs, the trauma, the stuck energy, and also because I'm still living in a religious country, it was very hard to find, for example, rent, because here, like, for example, a woman can't
Mm-hmm.
leave her family's house just unless she's getting married. You
Yeah.
can't like live by yourself or travel by yourself. It's very restrictive, um, you know, religion.
Yeah.
So I struggled to find rent because people don't want to rent for a single woman, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I really had to really like I was preparing this like leave in my family's house for 2 years actually. It was a
So
lot
it's
of
just a lot,
preparation.
a lot of
Yeah,
planning.
saving money, finding rent. Yeah, and so um, I would say the cultural background is also playing a little bit here, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I was saying like I love myself enough to do this. I'm not gonna stay there. I'm not gonna. I could have I could have chosen the easy way, but no. When you love yourself, and maybe someone can relate here. Maybe you're in an abusive home. Maybe you're too young. You can't leave right now, or whatever it is. Like if you love yourself, like if you can answer, like, do you love yourself enough to
Mm-hmm.
choose better for yourself? Like if the answer is yes, then just do it. Like
Yeah.
the support will come, the opportunities will come, the money will come. Like I was mind blown by how one single decision like changed my whole life. Like I'm living my dream life. A
Mm-hmm.
year later, like a year later, if I could go to my old self, like in December this month, I would
Mm-hmm.
tell her, "Oh my God, you have no idea what's coming. I know you're afraid. I know you're so afraid right now, like, but like the opportunities will come, like the money will come. Don't worry. God has your back. Don't worry." It's crazy.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I heard this really great thing. I think it was yesterday. Oh no, we went to our spiritual center on Sunday, and it was that miracles don't happen before the faith. Faith happens
Yeah,
first, and then the miracles come.
that's so true. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, like I feel like when we're stuck or in a very like stuck situation, we try to plan ahead like way too much.
Hmm.
But it's okay. I mean, you're afraid. I was young, and maybe some people are young as well. So I think when you're young and you never knew like another environment, especially I feel like when you're in abusive home, like outside, like I would never feel safe around people. Even when I
Yeah.
left, I would never feel safe. I would always think, oh, like this person might hurt me, or this person
Hmm.
might abuse me. So I would always plan ahead because you survived like this your whole life. You're always like
Yep.
having your back, like having your guard, like always planning. What if? Because it was your coping mechanism back then.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Definitely. What emotions rise to the surface most often when you're working through this fear and the shame and the anger, the grief, or any of these other feelings?
Mm. So I would say fear is the most common one,
Mm-hmm.
especially when I'm expanding. Like I said, when I'm
Yeah.
taking a decision I've never took before, fear always. Um, I would say anger would come when an old memory would resurface. Like an old memory would come up, and I was like so angry that I could not, like, I didn't react as I wanted to, or like someone was unjustly acting towards me and I could not protect myself or have boundaries. That's when anger shows up a lot
Mm-hmm.
of injustice. Hmm, I would say grief would come up when I see a mother with a child and they, like a loving mother with their child, or a father like taking care of his daughter, like this grief of like I've never had that and I will never
Mm-hmm.
experience that. So my inner
Mm-hmm.
child would feel like so emotional.
Yeah.
Or for example, around Christmas, and I see like families gathering, like gifts and like fireplace and like
Mm-hmm.
a tree. That was my inner child's dream, like the perfect Christmas,
Mm-hmm.
and just knowing that I've never had that. And so, yeah, she feels a lot of emotions around December, especially
Yeah.
because we're spending Christmas alone, so it's very, emotional for her. But
Yeah.
I always try to make her happy, like buy her gifts, doing some like decorating. And
Mm-hmm.
also there is a little bit of hope because I know that I will do that with my own family, like my future husband and like
Yeah.
my true family. Like I know that I will have that. So it's not a dream that I will never have.
Yeah.
So it makes me happy. Like I always imagine when I see the future, I always imagine like a Christmas tree, a
Mm-hmm.
fireplace, and uh, like a lot of people I love, and a table full of food that I
Yeah.
cooked. I love cooking.
Me too.
So yeah, so I love cooking for people. I think it's my love language.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like this is like my dream, like how I see my future. Like a lot of people I love, and a warm house. Yeah,
Yeah.
something I've never had. Yeah,
I like that
so
you're sharing that and you're sharing that visualization because talking it too makes it come.
mhm. Yeah. Oh yeah, I do that
Mm-hmm.
all the time. Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
love this.
And it's nice to hear when people are, we always hear about the visualizations and stuff after the fact, after people get it. So it's nice that you're sharing
Mm.
what it is that you're working on now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I,
So you've done so much work breaking generational cycles. What healing attempts have helped you along the way, and what didn't work for you?
mm, I really love this question because maybe some people here are new to spirituality.
Mm-hmm.
And the biggest mistake I made when I was starting, especially my healing journey, was thinking that if I just follow somebody else's healing journey, I would heal as well. Like
Mm.
a healing journey is like linear, like it's the same
Mm-hmm.
thing. Just follow the book and you will heal. And
Yeah.
it's not really like after years, you're gonna see it for yourself. Like it's not how it works, you know?
Nope.
So the best advice I would give is just follow your own healing journey. You can
Mm-hmm.
You can like look for tools or advice or like listen to podcasts, or I did that, but don't follow somebody else's healing journey. Follow your own.
Exactly.
And yeah, and also you have everything you need to heal yourself. Like your body knows how to self-heal, and your inner team, like your spiritual team, knows how to heal you. So if you just listen, I would just say listen to yourself, listen to your intuition. That's the most important. Like if somebody else's tool or I don't know, if someone recommends something and you try it and your intuition is like no, listen to
Mm-hmm.
that. It's not because someone tried something and it helped them that it might work on you. Okay, so it's very important you listen to yourself and you trust yourself. Okay,
Yeah,
so for me, what really helped me is Reiki. That's the first thing. I love
me too.
Reiki. Yeah, it helped me a lot. Also, EFT tapping. So you just say a
Mm-hmm.
lot of affirmations and you tap on certain places where you have the most stuck energy.
Yeah.
I would say another one is affirmations. This is the
Yes.
biggest thing that reprogrammed um, my limiting beliefs in my subconscious mind. Um, I would say yoga. I love yoga. It
Me
helps
too.
me feel calmer and ground myself. It also regulating your nervous system. Okay, there is a lot of tools to do that. So you just like breathing techniques, movement, dancing, like shaking your body. It depends on what your unique needs are. Okay, it depends
Yeah.
on you. Okay, I will give you an example. For example, a lot of people find journaling helping, like it helps them release
Yeah.
emotions. I never liked it. I've
Mm.
never liked journaling, which is weird, you know, because in the
Yeah.
beginning I was like, something is wrong with me, you know, because
Mm-hmm.
everyone would say, journal your emotions, you're gonna heal. I never liked it.
Yeah.
And after that, I knew that what I love is not writing, but speaking. And it
Mm-hmm.
really helped my throat chakra heal. So I would, instead of writing my emotions, I would speak them. You know, I
That's
would go to the
beautiful.
mirror. Yeah, I would go to the mirror and just like, I feel this way, and I start crying, and it was very healing.
Yeah.
And so just do what works for you. Listen to
I
yourself.
love
Okay.
that.
Yeah,
Alternative
you know the
journaling.
steps. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was very
alternative.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Journaling vocally and orally. And, it goes
Hmm.
back to Native American traditions of oral tradition is what holds the
Yeah.
most value, not so much written.
Yeah. Also, I think it's also related to Sirius because on Sirius we love singing. It's a blue
Mm-hmm.
planet. It's very related to the throat. So we
Mm-hmm.
sing as a mean of healing. Like we start singing and
Yep.
people would heal, you know? So I think it was also a way for me to discover my soul's gifts. I'm a singer,
Mm-hmm.
by the way. So
Okay.
yeah, yeah. So it was very much like discovering one of my soul's gifts, which is healing through the throat chakra with
Mm.
sound.
Yeah. Yeah, sound
Hmm.
healing too. And that there's a lot of parallels I hear you sharing between that and Native American culture
Oh,
because
I've never really looked to that, but that you're mentioning it, like I really want to dive more into that because I
hmm
their culture is so um, similar to Syria's, like Syrian culture. Like
yeah.
we live in the forest. We walk barefoot.
hmm
We don't have technology. We're so respectful of nature and water and yeah, like on other star systems or Arcturus, for example, it's a city. There is like technology, flying cars, but on
hmm
Sirius there is none of that. Like it's very organic. So
hmm
yeah, I feel a lot of similarities between
Yeah.
these two cultures.
I hear that. And then a lot of Native Americans, we have a lot of cosmology and like star stories. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of connection that I'm hearing. That's just interesting
Maybe,
to think about.
yes, some of them are for sure star seeds. For sure.
Well, there's oral traditions that get into that. And in my tribe, there's a story about gosh, I'm gonna like totally butcher it right now, but she was trying to run away. She was unhappy with her life, so she went up and married one of the stars. And then
Hmm.
so she was living her life out with the stars. And my tribe's not the only tribe with that story. There are many tribes with that
Wow.
story of the woman leaving and marrying a star.
Hmm. It's
And
very interesting.
yeah. So there's a lot of parallels there. I love hearing when more of the galactic alien stories align with oral tradition. I think that's
Yeah.
really neat.
Yes.
Okay. So if the challenge you're facing right now is a character in your story, how would you describe it? What does it look like, sound like, or want from you?
This was the question I was looking, like waiting for it the most. I
I
love
was
it.
like, oh, do I do this question? And the fact that you were like, I love Disney, I love this. I'm like, she's gonna love the
I love
character
it.
question.
Yeah, I loved it so. I was waiting for this one
Hmm.
because I love writing. One of my dreams that I kept was wanting to be a writer, and
Hmm.
I'm still wanting to be a writer. I love writing.
Good.
I'm writing a book right now, and it's
Beautiful.
not only like a self-help book. It's a novel. Well, it's not really like all say like it's not really all like a novel because it's my soul story.
Hmm.
But what I wanted to do, and I felt God wanted me to do, was to use like humor and I would say novel tools like writing, singing, stuff, creative tools to
Hmm.
introduce spirituality.
Yeah.
You see? So the book
Hmm.
is about like my soul story, like about Sirius, like Arcturus, like it's a whole novel about like the life on other planets, and then how me, Octavia, like awakened being on Earth. So it's
Yeah.
very funny, like awakening and being like, what the hell is this? So
What's
it's
been
like
happening?
yeah, what's been happening? Where was I all this lifetime? What happened to me? And
Hmm.
it's very funny and also like mostly like kind of like for kids. There's a lot of like characters and like battles and swords and so
Hmm.
I love everything that is to do with fantasy in a way. So I'm really
Hmm.
excited to to be a writer. I love this, and especially writing novels.
Yeah.
Um, I love, this adding this child, I would say, I don't know, child word into my books.
Hmm.
So
That's
if
amazing.
I, yeah, if I could describe my challenge as a character, it would be, I don't know why, but I saw it like this. I don't know why it came up like this, but I want you to see a man. And obviously, it had to be a man because it was my biggest fear. So imagine a man in his like around 45 and 60.
Hmm.
So he's a very powerful man, um, someone that has a lot of power, mostly in politics or something like that. So it's someone that is very much ego driven. And
Yeah.
so everything he does is for personal gain.
Hmm.
Okay. So he's very fueled by power and lust. Okay. And obviously, he has a lot of money and power. And because this person um, thinks this is what true power looks like. But deep down, this person is very insecure. Okay. This person is
Hmm.
trying to like run from himself instead of look within. So he tries to gain outside, everything that he can to create this false image of power. And because it's really like shaky, his foundation is shaky.
Mm-hmm.
He lose it all. Like he does not his empire crumbles because he's very like trying to intimidate people, trying to gain more and more and more. And
Yeah.
his biggest fear is the divine feminine, his soul.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
what he does, he tries to like kill the divine feminine. And what you
Yeah.
see in our word, this is what our word looks like. The
Mm-hmm.
divine, when was the divine feminine ever celebrated? Never. When was the divine feminine ever given a place, on the throne? Never. This word was created to hurt her and keep her stuck and keep her asleep to her own power. And so what happens in in the story, it's a little bit of my book, and
Mm-hmm.
this character is real actually. It's one of my let's say villain in the book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what the divine feminine awakens, and that's what you see happen in our world. That's why we're
Mm-hmm.
awakening. That's why we're gaining our power back. This is why we're like you see a lot of people, um, following their purpose, their soul.
Yeah.
So the divine feminine is awakening, is gaining her power back, and um, getting her throne back that he stole. He stole
Yeah.
her throne. Yeah, he stole what was hers, tried to hurt her, but what he doesn't know is that she's coming for him. She's coming, she's going to beat him, you
Yeah.
know, because she's powerful.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is how the story ends. She, you know, get what hers back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved how you described your character of
Yeah.
how he is and how it was a male too. That's wonderful.
Mm. So it's part of my purpose to write like kids books, like novels, but it's also
Mm-hmm.
a lot of truth. It's funny. Like a lot of people would find this like amusing or yeah, it's nice, but it's also gonna awaken them in a way when they think
Yeah.
about it uh very deeply. Like there's a lot of messages that
Yeah.
gonna help. I hope would help a lot of people understand themselves and their soul, and through my story, through what happened. So yeah, hopefully
It's
need to
wonderful.
finish it.
What has this challenge taken from you over the years? Or maybe what has it kept you from experiencing fully?
Mm, mm. I would say like the biggest struggle is forming healthy relationships. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's my biggest struggle. Like as you can imagine, I was isolating myself my whole life. So the
Yeah.
fear of the fear of betrayal and the fear of abandonment
Yeah.
kept me from like forming connection with people. So this is something I long for, like to have
Mm-hmm.
what looks like a healthy relationship. And because you see a lot of people, they had a good support system, loving parents. They are so good at forming bonds. This is such a natural thing for them. But for me, it's like such a struggle to just like relax, not have my guards up, and really
Mm-hmm.
fully trust people. I think that's
Yeah.
yeah, what this challenge took the most from me.
That's what I was imagining you would say.
Yeah. Yeah.
What part of yourself feels the most impacted by this? Your voice or your freedom, your identity, your create? I don't think it's your creativity. Your creativity seems to
No,
be
which is
flowing.
weird. Which is weird because when you think about it, like I was raised in such a restrictive
Hmm.
household, but I think my soul was always having this soul gift. So
Hmm.
I always been very creative, but I would say like the part that was the most impacted was being truthful to myself. You know, for
Yeah.
example, like when someone tries to hurt you or someone is unjust with you, if you're a healthy individual, you would, stand up for yourself, like
Yeah.
voice, how this is wrong. Bless you.
Thank you.
But because I've never had a healthy relationship with myself and with others, so I would always um, betray myself. So
Hmm.
instead of voicing, my anger, I would push it down
I think
because
so many women go through that.
yes, I mean, yeah, as women, we never like were taught how to do that, especially because how we were, how, what's the word? Like when you try to express yourself to someone, how they
How?
respond, yeah, how they respond is very important. So
Yes.
if you try to express yourself and someone is angry back at you or try to tell you you're wrong,
Hmm.
this is not true. Like you shouldn't like react like that.
Hmm.
So, or even worse, if you were hurt physically because you were trying to voice your anger, this is what happened to me. So
Hmm.
you associate expressing yourself with being hurt. So you never do
Hmm.
that because you're trying to protect yourself. So it took a lot of reprogramming to be able to do that. And I'm really proud of myself because not long ago, I had an interaction at work with someone when I was still working, Now I'm fully like with my business, but I had a job before.
Hmm.
So this person at work um, was wrong and trying to, I voiced, that what she did was wrong, and what was she trying to do is being angry back at me, you know,
Hmm.
the same way my mother would do that. So it was a lesson for me to see like this person as my mother,
Yep.
triggering me. Yeah. So at that moment, there was a fearful thought of like, let it go. Like, don't, because I was so afraid. She was angry and I was triggered.
Hmm.
So my normal reaction was just let it go, let her win, let her have it. And then a healed part of me was like, hell no, 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 no. I'm gonna show you, no, 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 no. And so I said, I was like,
Mm.
no, like I voiced myself. I set a boundary, and I was trying to let her know that she should, be accountable for what she did. And
Mhm.
she got her karma back because the boss knew about what was happening, and she actually got fired, which was very
Mm.
interesting. Yeah. So she got her karma back. I know that it was not because of me, it was because of her behavior that she got
Yeah.
that. So I was very proud of myself for what I did. Like it was one of the few moments of my life when my healing really showed in my 3D life, and I was so
Yes.
happy. And even today, I had an interaction with the owner of my house, the house I'm renting.
Mhm.
There is a problem, like I said, with the
Oh, yeah.
electricity. Yeah. So because I called him yesterday and he said he's gonna call me back and he didn't. So I wake up today and I was like, there is a part of me that is like, I don't want to bother him. I don't want to be a bother. I don't want to call back. And then a part of me
Mhm.
was like, no, you stand up for yourself. This is your right and you should
Yeah.
voice that. So I leave him a message. I am very like to the point. He calls me back and someone is coming to fix the electricity. So what I've
Mhm.
learned is that even if you grew up in a house where you were very abused, you couldn't voice yourself, there is always going to be a voice within you that's going to try to, say, keep you safe.
Mhm.
Okay. But what you have to do is listen to the voice, the healed voice in you, and still do it, even if you're afraid. That's how you heal. It's not really like you finally wake up and none of those thoughts are coming up. They will always be there.
Yeah,
So yeah,
I couldn't
you
agree
know
more.
you're yeah, you know you're healing when you can do that, even if you're afraid. After that, I was like, ooh, I was so
Yeah.
happy. Yeah, yeah. Like when you start setting
Hmm.
boundaries, you're so proud of yourself. Like, look
Yeah,
what I did. It's so wonderful.
that's
I don't know if
beautiful.
you I don't know if you feel that as well, like when you started
Oh
setting
yeah.
boundaries. Yeah.
And it's scary and you get pushback sometimes. Like you don't
Hmm.
know what could have happened with him. He could have yelled at you or
Oh
but it
no.
worked.
I mean,
It worked. He's gonna set it straight. But I've stood up for myself and I've gotten pushback, but you have to realize that
no.
it's
I'm
okay.
so
You
sorry.
still
Yeah.
gotta stand up for yourself and for what you
Yeah,
believe
even if
in.
you're triggered. Yeah, even if you're triggered or someone does not respond the way you wanted, you still, set the boundary.
Yeah. Of
Hmm.
what you'll allow and what is acceptable.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Because if he did treat you poorly in your situation, the lesson might have been like, well, maybe I need to find somewhere else to live. Like, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really happy the outcome was that because I was really
Mm-hmm.
thinking like, is the universe trying to tell me like move? Because I am about to move in April. So I was like, okay, universe, do
Mm.
you want me to move like
Sooner.
before?
Mm-hmm.
But I knew it was not possible. Like I'm not ready to pack right now. But so I knew his response. This is a lesson. I knew this is a lesson. I knew
For
that
you to
he's gonna,
practice.
yeah, exactly. I knew he's gonna reply and fix it, but I knew that I needed to write that message. That's what the universe was waiting for. Okay,
Exactly.
universe, I'm doing it. Okay.
Okay, so even though today was about naming the problem, what do you hope will shift as you continue healing?
Mm. Yeah, I would say the biggest hope for me is to be able to form like healthy relationships. That's very
Yeah.
important for me. Um, I would say I have friends. I Most of them are online because the environment I live in does not really have a lot of spiritual people. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
the same everywhere or it's just here. I don't know, but here it's
It's
not really
hard
like
to build it's hard to build community anywhere, but you can
yeah,
find it.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my biggest hope is to be able to form relationships and yeah, also like meet um, the divine masculine that is with me for years now, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what's taking what? No, I mean, I know, like there's a divine timing for everything, but yeah, one of my biggest wishes is to achieve union not only within me but outside of me.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited for that. I know part of my purpose is to experience a healthy marriage, a healthy partnership with
Mm-hmm.
someone, and it's romantically. I know that, like I've seen it in my birth chart, and also I received like signs and guidance about this
Mm-hmm.
because I think it's gonna heal me tremendously.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's what my like part of this agreement is for healing. I mean, both of us, obviously, but I know that for me, it's going to be very healing to have someone finally in my life that I could
Mm-hmm.
trust and have a healthy relationship with, like as the masculine I always longed for in my
Yeah.
father and my brothers. So I'm really looking forward to that. And I would say my final like hope and what I really want is to fully embody my soul, like Octavia, who I am,
Mm-hmm.
because the trauma that I had, um, how can I say it? Like the trauma that I had is still blocking my full embodiment. Even
Mm-hmm.
like even like physically, I know that as a soul, what I look like is very different than what I look like right now. And I
Mm-hmm.
swear, when I started healing, I started experiencing physical changes.
Yeah.
That was so like that was mind blowing. Like for example, like I used to have like a bump on my nose,
Mm-hmm.
and as I healed myself, it's gone. And also, like my forehead was way bigger than this, and now it's smaller. And also some changes in my eyes. And
Mm-hmm.
as I was healing my sacral chakra, my thighs got bigger. So it's very,
Mm.
I've always been a very slim person, like very
Mm-hmm.
skinny. And now it's like I got fuller. So it's very interesting to see like physical changes as you
Yeah,
heal your trauma. And really, like I say, it's like trauma really changes you physically.
it does. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm really excited to see like myself looking like my true self, like how I look as a soul. Because I feel like it takes a lot from you. Um, when someone strips your identity, like who you truly are, and then
Mm-hmm.
you look at yourself in the mirror and it's like it's not you,
Mm-hmm.
and it's very triggering. It's like I have to be someone else
Yeah.
instead of myself.
For
So
survival. Yep.
exactly. So I slowly I see this like changes. It's very slow. I wish it was faster, but our 3D our 3D world is very slow.
It is.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah, you don't see changes right away. So I know it's gonna take some years, but it's okay. I'm okay with that. I know that I will reach that level of looking like my true self, like a very like embodied and confident person, like physically. And yeah, I think I'm really excited for the future.
Very nice. So, what strength or inner knowing are you carrying with you into the next chapter of your healing?
Hmm. Hmm. So I would say the inner knowing that I'm a very strong and powerful soul.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that especially now that I am aware of my soul's gifts, and I think everyone, like if you can just discover your gifts, you have no idea of your potential. Because
Mm-hmm.
a year ago, I was someone that was living in an abusive home, that was didn't have a lot of money, that was full of trauma and felt abused and powerless. And one decision changed my whole life. Now I am living my dream life. Like I have my own place, I have my astrology business,
Mm-hmm.
I am healing myself, I feel more confident, happier. I have um, financial stability from my own business. It's not a job I'm doing, or I'm
Yeah.
doing this from my own gifts. I'm using my gifts to make money.
Yeah.
And yeah, I literally like reached my financial goal for the year back in October, I think.
Nice.
So yeah, so you have
Blessing.
no idea. You have no
Yeah.
idea of what you can achieve when you know your soul gifts and you use them in your daily life and to manifest and to create your dream life. You have no idea. So, as I know I'm powerful, um, I know you're powerful too. You have no idea. And I want to add
Yeah.
this story. It's very short.
Yes, of course.
So, last year, I went to like this book convention. So you go there, there is like books from all over the world, and you can buy if you want.
Mm-hmm.
I went there last year when I was still in my family home. And I swear something felt weird when I was there, almost like a
Mm-hmm.
deja vu. So
Mm.
yeah, like I was there before.
Yeah.
So I didn't know then, but I went this year as well. around the same time. It was in December. And when I went there, I was like, oh my God, can you believe it? Like, I was there last year. So, literally, there is a parallel timeline. Like, we are both in the same place at the same time.
Yeah.
And because time does not exist, we are there. We are there at the same moment. So, it
Mm-hmm.
was like a meeting of me a year after. And I remember back then, last year, I felt like my future self was there. I had a
Mm.
knowing. I had a knowing, and it was like she was giving me strength and reassurance to do it because literally a week after I left my abusive home. So it's
Mm.
crazy to see these signs and synchronicities. So literally, you have no idea like how powerful you are and what
Yeah,
your soul's powers, like what she can do um in your life when you decide really like what you want. Like there you are limitless, literally.
I agree. Thank you for sharing that story.
You're welcome.
Well, Octavia, thank you for sharing all these pieces of your story today. This is the foundation of your transformation. In our next episode, we'll enter the turning point, the moments where everything begins to crack open, the breakthroughs, and the deep inner shifts that start rewriting your entire path. So, to everyone listening, stay tuned. Her journey is just beginning.
Before we end today, I want to leave you with this. Octavia didn't just leave a house, she left a lineage. She left expectations that had been placed on her body, her future, and her obedience long before she had a voice. But leaving doesn't mean the work is done. In our next episode, The Turning Point, we step into the moment where survival cracks open into awakening, where freedom feels exhilarating and terrifying at the same time, where healing gets messy, where the old identity fights to stay alive even as the new one begins to form. We'll talk about all the breakthroughs, the fear, the doubts, and the moment Octavia realized that there was no going back to who she used to be. This story is just getting started. Stay tuned for part 2, The Turning Point.